here tonight, coming from the Gambia, and I'm with the Honourable Omar Jatto.
Thank you, mate. It's a pleasure.
Oh, cheers, brother. Nice to see you, man. Yeah, Malaka. So, a bit about the Honourable Omar is you the youngest minister in
I'm one of the youngest National Assembly.
One of the youngest ones?
Nice. We are for the young ones.
Yeah.
But then, however,
Yeah.
I'm also among one of the few young National Assembly members.
And from what I understand, you're quite a big hit in Parliament, is that right?
Yeah, well, I'm part of the minority caucus, and aside that, I'm an independent candidate, so as such, I don't have any party affiliation.
Okay, yeah.
So that gives me the liberty to speak my mind and
tell them what you think.
Represent the people.
So Omar was saying that he's an independent, which is quite rare. There's not many independent politicians.
We're very few.
Yeah, very few, and it's held by the two main parties. So Omar is able to stand in Parliament and speak his mind because the parties need the independents to help push through the bills. Is that right?
Exactly, because
I bet they hate you. I bet they hate it when you start.
Yeah, exactly. Because with me, representation is about the people.
Right, yes.
And as such, you must always reflect how people think in terms of what really they want in terms of legislations.
Yeah.
So as such, my decisions are always influenced by what the
people want.
Is really right. More especially those that are marginalized in society.
I see. And a bit about Omar's history. He's from Janjanbore. He went to Armitage School, and what I understand is when you left school, when Gambians leave school, the majority go to the coast to find jobs. And Jatto decided to stay in Janjanbore and have the community and build that up. And I respect you for that, mate.
Exactly, that's the story. As you have rightly said, yes, I am from Janjanbore. It's a small island in Makati, Joytown, a town with 3 names, which are all officially recognized. Yeah. However, now it's time to be called as Janjanbore formally.
Okay.
Yes, I went to Armitage, and after completing school in Armitage, I came to the Greater Banjul area, simply because that's where we have the opportunities in terms of employment and also in terms of developing careers. So
that's where you will be heard by don't put it out in the bush where no one's listening.
Exactly. Yeah. So after a few years, I decided to go back to Janjanbore.
Okay.
Kind of settle with the community and also, learn from other young people who are equally versatile and also have the opportunity to also share my little skills and experiences.
So with you saying that, so what is your opinion or your what do you think of youth empowerment within the Gambia?
Yeah, this is a brilliant question because I emerged from a youth background before getting into politics. Yeah. Because I used to serve as a National Youth Council of the Gambia as one of the board members.
Okay.
Being the regional youth chairperson of Central River Region. Yeah. Where Janjanbore serves as the headquarters.
Right.
So coming back to your question with youth empowerment, it definitely catch my attention. Yeah. Anyway, I had about the war.
And I find, sorry to interrupt, but I find things like that when they catch your attention, like things that I find that's something normally what means something to you. It's not just you actually feel something, you're like, that's not right, or I could do something, so I could, maybe.
Yeah, when I heard about youth empowerment, I see myself in here because
you've been through it.
The current status I'm able to read because I was part of the youth structure, both at local and at national level. Yeah. And that gave me the exposure and also equipped me with the rightful skill to really get myself into the job market. Yeah. So as such, if I had about youth empowerment, I see it as a model or as a tool to prepare our young people to really develop on careers that would have potentials to change not just their life, but to change a community. So for me, I see youth empowerment as a tool that should be put into each and every other Gambian in order to prepare those young ones with the potentials to actually change or be those game changers in our society. So for me, it's the rightful tool that we can definitely apply.
Exactly. And I totally agree. You know, you're right there. And it's just such a shame that they're not acting on it. You know.
Exactly.
But it's nice. I think I'm seeing the steady, gradual change because, like yourself, getting into power, getting into the government, and you can be vocal and you tell them this, and you've lived it, you've been there, you've come from that. You're not pretending to be somebody you're not.
I think people who feels it knows it. Practically, if you go back to our society, you see those young people. For example, let's take a typical example on our young people who are at the ghettos. Most of them are not really there because they wanted to be there. It's because of the society they find themselves in, the environment they find themselves in. However, it becomes a collective responsibility to also nurture those ones who are marginalized, those that are at the ghetto, those that are left out of school, those that are without proper careers to fit themselves in the job market. So, it becomes a collective responsibility for each and every one to push that agenda.
And it's all for the greater good.
Exactly.
And also, sorry to interrupt, but I find that the children, the students, and whatnot that have been left to and haven't been given anything, it's not because they don't want it, and it's not because the bad boys or they don't want to be doing that. It's just because they've not had that opportunity because of the community they live in, the status quo, and it's just a role.
And even the cost attached. For example, if you live in a family of 12, you 12 children, you all have to go to school, considering the cost attached to education, because education might be free at primary school. But the moment you move
you have to pay
to the next level, you realize it is costly.
It's costly. So then,
so if you can't afford the cost, it would mean you will either be a dropout or after grade 12, you just get back to society.
End up as a bumster. Sorry, Gambian bumsters, but the bumsters, there's a lot of bumsters about, but a lot of them, we won't get into that.
And you mentioned something very important. For me, I don't see it as discriminatory in terms of maybe referring to those young, really intelligent young people who are on the page, sharing, selling products and services.
They're just being initiative, using their initiative. They're doing what they know, what they can.
They might not be formally be doing.
And you have to be like that. I suppose you have to be that way to that character and that way to survive out there.
And the good thing is, I'm seeing them as people who create employment for themselves. Without state.
They are.
Because it's about selling to us. It's about sharing good experiences with visitors who comes into the Gambia. And interestingly, you realize that some of these people are bilinguals. They learn it on the street. You see a Gambian young person on the beach who have never been to school in Germany. You see him
speak to everybody.
See him speaking Dutch.
Wow.
And these are all potentials in young people that are really impacting positively on our society. Because that person coming from Germany or coming from Holland, maybe he or she cannot speak English. But because of there is someone who can speak a dialect that he or she can speak, you give that person a better experience and easy way to communicate.
It's nice. You'll get a reaction because it's But just talking about speaking different languages and that, I've always thought if everybody in the world learned sign language, we could all, if you went to a different country, you could all be like, I think that'd be a good one to just standardise across the world, sign language. We'd all be like throwing shapes.
So basically, we do the empowerment. For me, it really was focus. And in the Gambia, if you look at our situation, more especially the influx around irregular migration to Europe, the influx around irregular migration. So I wouldn't refer that to as irregular migration, but if you look at the rural-urban drift, right, the numbers are high. Right. Okay. Because, for example, if you live in Oak River, let's say in Basse or in Janjambre or in Jarosoma, the only way you can tap on the needed opportunities would be if you drift from that end to the city. Yeah. That's where. Definitely. So that's where the importance of youth empowerment comes into play by decentralizing. Starting at the roots.